Hello everybody, it's Monster Forge again, and I just want to do a little video. I kind of mentioned it in my comments because somebody asked me about it, but I just want to do a video talking about minifigures and some of my minifigure collection. One of my favorite things is collecting minifigures, which I consider a minifigure to be any figure that is 3 inches and smaller. That's not, I mean, nobody has to follow this criteria, but this is just what I think of. It's a figure unto itself. Like that line, the scale is around that size. In other words, Star Wars figures are like 3 3/4 inches tall. About this tall right here. Technically, Yoda, is under 3 inches tall, but I don't consider him to be a minifigure because he's just a smaller figure in a line that's scaled to 3 3/4 inches. Now, if I had a tiny little Yoda figure that's smaller than Yoda would be, like maybe an inch tall, I would consider that a minifigure because it's not really the same scale as figures that are bigger. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I mean, it does to me. And I'm the only one that's really holding that standard, unless other people are. Anyway, I decided to show some minifigures because in the comments of one of my videos, somebody asked me about my homies collection. I used to have a huge homies collection, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but it's diminished quite a bit, and what I could find readily, it's a very small handful of them anymore, but I used to have dozens and dozens of them. The reason why I bring up the homies is in a recent video I unboxed the Kylie Jenner Bratz minifigure, which is this one right here, and I said, oh gosh, she looks like some of the girls in Homies. And as you can see, let me get one. This is one of the Homies girls. And Homies, if you don't know, this video is just going to be like showing some of my minifigures that I have. I don't know what everything is. I don't know the names, the manufacturers. If you know, oh, excuse me, it's late. If you know any of these characters' names or anything like that, or any information you'd like to share, please, I welcome that. I had a lot of fun reading the comments on the bootleg Jetfire thread because so many people added such really good information. So if you know any of the names of the characters, I know that most of the homies characters, or a lot of them, they have Spanish names. Like all of them have like nicknames. And I want to say like this girl's name is Shy or something like that. I cannot remember. It's been so long since I got this figure. But Homies, if you didn't know, it was a line, I don't know if it was late 90s or early 2000s, I can't remember, but it was a line, sorry, it was a line of minifigures that you could get in gumball machines, and they all celebrated different aspects of the Latino lifestyle in, like southern part of California and into Texas, and I imagine, I'm not sure, but I imagine the Homies line probably spread on eventually to cover like, the southern parts of Florida and stuff like that. Any of the states where you had like a large population of Hispanic or Latin peoples. But I've always loved Homies because they're, I don't know, there's just something interesting and unique about them. They're caricatures of just normal people. and it's people you might see, you know, anywhere. And so it was kind of like it's kind of a celebration of the cholo lifestyle, the Southern Latino lifestyle, and they're just really cool figures. They got a lot of personality. Like I said, I cannot remember the names of these guys, and I used to have so many more of them, but I wish I could remember the names. But this guy right here is just great. Look at his feet kicked out to the side. He's awesome, and they always have such great detail on them. I don't know if I can get all of these guys to stand up. Sometimes they're notoriously tough to stand up. Thankfully, the girls a lot of times have a stand. The guys often don't. Let's see. Now, you'll notice I have a lot of the girls. I don't know why. I think I just like them. I think they look good all standing together, like they're just hanging out. Now, this, I don't know if this is a homies. I know there was a line that came out around the same time that they were like homies, and they may have even been produced by the same people that produced homies, but they were kind of clown characters because, you know, during that time period where the homies were real popular, like ICP, you know, Insane Clown Posse, that stuff was the Juggalo and Juggalette scene. That was real popular too. But this character, I don't know if she's a homie or not. I had a few of the clowns because when you couldn't find the homies, you could find the clowns. But she's definitely painted up look like a clown. Either that or she's never been in the sun before. But I think the makeup on her face and the polka dots make me think of a clown. I don't know if she's a homie's character, but she's always been with my homies collection. And I just had a couple of the guys, but here's some more. There's this guy. He's a gosh, trying to remember. Is it caballero? The Spanish word for cowboy? I think it is caballero. My buddy Eat More Toys can correct me on that. By the way, Eat More Toys, I was thinking about you when I was making this because we used to talk about our love for the homies and all. I also think about somebody else, and that's my buddy Anthony. Anthony, this is a really interesting one. That's pretty cool setup there. He's praying in front of his cross with the shadow of the cross. Pretty neat, pretty elaborate, you know, design for a little gumball machine figure. My buddy Anthony and I, when we were in college, we loved homies, and we didn't know each other that we liked homies until one day we were talking about the gumball machine at the Walmart in town where we went to college, and it had a homies machine, and the homies, I can't remember if they were a quarter at the time or if they were 50 cents or what it was, but we would save up our change and, you know, get quarters and go down to Walmart and buy homies. Like, we buy a handful of homies each time. That's how the homie collection grew so much, was during my college years. I had had a few of them before college. Before college, but when I was in college, we found that machine that had the homies, and we were getting them. And you see, this guy's got a tattoo on his belly that says homies. He's pretty darn cool. He's like a rapper guy. Neat. Anyway, Anthony and I, we were collecting them, and we were just going on and just going nuts about homies and how much we loved them. This guy's so cool. I think he's got shoe boxes. He's a pretty dapper dude. And see, he's got a cane that's got dollar bills on it. I think that's what it is. I don't know if he's the guy. Like, I know that one of these girls, like, her boyfriend is either this guy or this guy right here. But they have a classic look. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But anyway, Anthony and I, we would go down to Walmart, get the figures and all. And one night we had planned it. We were going to go down to Walmart. we're gonna get our homies figures, and we're gonna, we would trade and stuff like that. And so we got there, and we went to one side. Oh, we went to one side of the Walmart. You have like two entrances, and the gumball machine with the homies, or capsule machine, you might call it. It had been replaced with some kind of trinkety crap. I don't remember exactly what it was, and don't you dare say that homies are trinkety crap anyway. But I don't remember what it was, like spy gear or something, necklaces, whatever. And we were like heartbroken. And I said, well, maybe they moved it down to the other side. And so we went down to the other side, and there was a guy there that was replacing the toys in the machine, and he had like a cart with him, and we were like, you don't know what, are they putting the homies somewhere else or whatever? He was like, no. He says, like, I'm taking what was in the machine out. And we were like, my buddy Anthony was like, dude, please. It's like, we'll buy it. And like, we were in college, we didn't have any money, but we had pooled a little bit of resources, and like, we were like, we'll put our money together, and we'll buy what we can from you. And the guy was like, here, and he had like a garbage bag, and I'm talking about those big industrial strength garbage bags, the clear ones that you see in trash cans like at Walmart, and it was full of the little capsules that the homies figures came in, and he just gave it to us. Like, he wouldn't take any money for it. He was like, I'm getting rid of it anyway. We were like two of the biggest kids you've ever seen. We went absolutely nuts. Like, we were giddy. And I think Anthony had ridden with me because I had a car at the time, and we were like two little kids riding back, and we just couldn't wait to get home and open them up and see what we had. And we went up to Anthony's dorm room, and we proceeded to just start popping them out of the packages and divvying them up between us. And we made sure that we had like, if there were duplicates of the characters, we make sure we both had it, and then we did like a, hey, do you want this guy? No, do you want this guy? Yeah, and we divvied them up, and then we had a bunch of extras, and we would just give them to people and stuff like that, like, because there wasn't like a big, at that point, the homies thing that kind of died back a bit, and so we didn't really get a lot of takers, but we did give them to some people, and we kept a bunch of extras for ourselves. But that's my favorite homie story, because it was just a fun time. It involved one of my favorite people, Anthony, and we just had a blast. And I remember whenever, like, Anthony graduated before I did, and when he was leaving, I sculpted him a little homie of like an artist. And it was supposed to be him, and I gave it to him, and I hope he enjoyed that. I made it especially for him. Now, my favorite homies figure is one I had to, like, I hunted for this guy everywhere, and I just happened upon him at a thrift store one day. It's this guy. And I want to say, like, it might not be his name, but I want to say, like, his name is, like, Muerte, like death. But this guy is so cool. Like, he's missing a head. It's not like bone sticking out or anything like that, but he's carrying a skull. And he's just the coolest guy. Oh, I didn't ever notice. That's 2009. Okay, so I don't know how far. And I think that's the only homies figure I have that has like any type of indicia on it. Whoa, wait a minute. Well, this one's homies. Let's see. Homies. You can't really see it in light. Homies TM China, but as far as I know, the other ones don't have. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, they're making liars out of me. This one says Homies TM China. This is the only one I know of that I have that has like a date on it, so it makes me think this is later on in the line. But whenever I found out about this guy, I was like, yeah, it's got a skull, I need it. So sadly, that's what I have at the moment that I can put my hands on of my homies from back in the day. And like I said, I had just tons of these things at one point. You know, they were cheap. They were like a quarter. You can hardly get anything for $1 anymore out of the capsule machines at most stores. I was looking at some the other day, and it was like they had a thing in there for you to put in like $1 to get a little tiny nothing toy. And it's just sad to see how things have changed so much, the economy and all. But yeah, like I said, the Kylie Jenner figure, she's a little bit taller and her proportions are weird. But like if she had a normal sized head, she'd fit in perfectly with the homies girls. You know, she's kind of sexy like some of the homies girls are. So yeah, that's what brought about this little video about my minifigures. And I'll just show some of my other minifigures. This is by far not all of my minifigures. I have a ton of minifigures, but this is just and I have a bunch of like art toy minifigures, but I want to give them their own showcase. But anyway, these are some that are like production ones. Now these are a couple of figures. They were keychains, so they have little holes, but I don't give a rat's behind about keychains or hang tags or anything like that. I want figures. So I took the little eyelets out of them, and they're minifigures. And these are, there's an artist from Japan, his name is Talma, and he designed Ultraman characters for a little set of I don't think these were keychains. I think these were like little hang tag or little cell phone hanging things, because they came with little tiny straps on them, which that's typically what you use, like cell phone charms is what they call them. But Talma's stuff is really stylized and just really cool, and I love the proportions for these guys. I picked these up back in like, I don't know, the mid 2000s, or you know, like 2009, 2010, something like that. I can't remember, but yeah, I picked up a whole bunch of them, and these are the only ones that I really have up in a display I have my minifigures in. But I just think they look really cool. Moving right along, these are, and you'll have to forgive me, I do not remember the names of these, but I do know that they're gumball machine toys. I'm gonna say gumball. People call them capsule toys or whatever, but I call them gumball machine toys because that's what they used to be called. But I don't know the names of these. I don't know the character names, but I know that they were designed and sculpted by Dave Warshawski. And if you don't know who that is, Dave Warshawski was one of the sculptors of the old Ninja Turtles toys. I want to say he sculpted like General Trag or Trog or whatever it is. He did a lot of the ones that had a lot of detail, like the bugs all on their skin and everything. He just did really cool stuff, and he went absolutely nuts sculpting them. But he did this little line of luchador figures, and they are really cool. They got a lot of personality. And once again, these were, let's see, does it have a... Hold on a second. Let me see if my magnifying lens will let me see what this says. No, I really can't make it out. Anyway, this little line of figures, they were all wrestlers. And I'm really ticked off because when I went to get these guys off the shelf, they're on a big shelf, I dropped my favorite one. There's one character, and his name, I know his name because he's my favorite one. His name is Chupacabra. And what's interesting about him is most of these guys can kind of stand on their own. Chupacabra is like mid-leap. So his legs are behind him and his arms are out in front of him. He's just really cool. Like, he's got a really cool mask and everything. But you got this guy. He's just awesome. But the sculpts on these little guys are so cool. They're really nice. And this guy is like one of the masks. He's like Mil Mascaras. He's the masked luchador guy, and he's got the championship belt, so you know he's really tough. And he's got his little suit. He's awesome. Once again, Dave Warshawski is an amazing sculptor. He's a pretty cool guy. Like, he took part. I think he took part in the October Toys Forum back in its day, or either I talked to him on Facebook or something like that. But he's a real super nice guy, and yeah, he might have taken part. I know that he took part in Toy Break, which was a show that was put on by the folks at October Toys at the time, and he had, or they reviewed one of his toys or something like that. But yeah, cool guy. But this guy, besides the Chupacabra, this guy is one of my favorites. And it just, you got a caped guy with a skull mask for a face. I'm there, dude. They're all dusty too. That's what happens when you live on a shelf in my place because of all the dremeling dust that gets everywhere. My lungs would probably have 10 pounds of Sculpey dust in them. Tough stuff. But yeah, these guys are really cool. You can find them sometimes on eBay. I just wish I could remember the names. If anybody watching knows, just leave it in the comments what these guys are called. Looking at you, iTube, because I know you have some of these, I think. These are a couple of Ben 10 minis. For a while there, the Ben 10 aliens came with a little minifigure with them. And different ones. These are some of the earlier ones, and they were a lot bigger, and then later on they got smaller. Don't remember the names of these guys. I know that this guy is kind of like the Ultraman clone. I want to say he was like Big something, but I can't remember. I just really like the design of this guy and the clear plastic. Really cool figure, really cool looking character too. Big, what is his name? Oh, he's like my favorite alien too. It's just been so long since I watched Ben 10. I'll think of it later. And this guy, I don't, Omega Man or something? I don't remember what his name is, but he just looks cool. I like his pose. And I think I got this guy. I think somebody sent me like a care package full of toys and stuff, and this guy was in it, and I've always loved him. Really cool. Let's see. Alright, these are the Garbage Pail Kids. These aren't the original cheap toys that came out back in like the 80s or 90s or whatever. But these are kind of like a revisiting of that. These came blind packaged, and so you just got what you got. But these are little mini, and when I say mini, these are really tiny. Like these guys are, I don't know if they're an inch. Yeah, they're right at an inch tall. But they got a lot of personality. Like they've got the faces are well sculpted, the details are well sculpted. This is like a little smart girl with a giant brain. Don't remember her name, of course. I can't remember anything. And of course this guy, I think his name is Atom Bomb or something like that. But he's pressing the button, blowing a gigantic fart out, and blowing the top of his head up too. Which is, you know, just the way to be. Maybe he's standing on his head and blowing a cloud out of his butt. Cool. Let's see. This guy. Yeah. Isn't that great? He's got his remote control, and he's like, his head's turned into a TV. So cool. He's like zoned out. That's me watching TV. Oh yeah, this guy. He's a toilet. And a dapper one at that. See the bow tie? So cool. Old toilet man. This one wins the award for creepiest looking one, in my opinion. There's just something so wrong about this. Like, it looks like a shark from here, but you turn it around, it's got this creepy, just awful face. Yep. Does it have a year on these? Tops, China. It doesn't have a year, so I don't remember. Now this is my favorite one. This is one of my favorite Garbage Pail Kids. Have I been saying Cabbage Patch? They're Garbage Pail. I don't know. I'm tired enough to where I'm probably saying anything. But this is my favorite one. Little guy is unzipping his face and his skull's poking out, which if it's got a skull in it, I'm going to like it. And the skull's cracked open so you can see brains inside. So yeah, following through with that Garbage Pail grossness. Yeah, that guy's awesome. He's definitely my favorite one. Let's see. I have a few more. I have a lot more. This is a Gundark. I guess this is. I mean, Gundark is a Star Wars alien, and he's got ears that Luke looks like he's strong enough to. Man, look at the dust. Luke looks like he's strong enough to pull the ears off of. So this is a Star Wars Gundark. I don't know. Gundak. No, it's Gundark. 56, 60, Fringe, 22. Have no idea. I want to say this is like a game piece for some miniature game. But it's from 2006, and you got the Lucasfilm Limited. But yeah, he's cool looking. He's a part of my green monster collection, and I'll have to show that off one of these days too. I have a collection of nothing but green monsters, and he just kind of found his way out here. This is from a game called Horror Clicks, and once again, if it's got a skull, it's gonna. It's got fuzz too. If it's got a skull, I'm there. So this is the evil cosmonaut. Does it say horror? It doesn't say Horror Clicks on it. Maybe it does here. No. Once again, dusty. But I just really like this guy. I collect astronauts as well as, you know, like skulls and skeletons and stuff. So this guy scratches all the itches. He's just a cool skeleton guy. I still have one of these for you somewhere, iTube. Remind me, and I'll try to make it resurface and get it to you. That was a promise from ages ago. Let's see. More recently, I picked these up. My favorite Scooby-Doo creature, ghost, guy in a suit who isn't really a ghost is the kooky space spook, or is he? No, he's this spooky space kook, or maybe kooky space spook. I can't remember. He's the alien or the astronaut guy, and he's pretty cool. I kind of the Scooby-Doo minifigures came in little translucent mystery machine packaging, and if you were real careful, you could look and find out which figures were in it. And so I went through a box to get. I wanted to have one that looked, you know, that was opaque, and I wanted the clear one. And I can't remember if this guy glows or not. There's a lot of light here. Let's see. I know he lights up pretty good, but yeah, he glows. That's right. That's why I wanted that one. I should have known. Yeah, but I wanted two. One for the glow-in-the-dark feature, and one I want to paint up like he actually looks in the show. I just haven't gotten around to it because I don't ever have time to do anything for me. But these figures are really nice. If you ever get a hold of these, I don't remember who produced them, but you know, if you look up Scooby-Doo blind bag minifigures, I'm sure you can find some of these guys. I know they have, like, I think I've seen a place where they sell like whole sets of everything, and they have some of them in that. Let's see. You might recognize these guys. These were from a line called Aerators, and these were always some of my favorite toys from years ago, because not only are they tiny, they are articulated. This is one of the good guys. I guess they were aerators, the good guys were. I knew a little bit about the story. Not a whole lot. I don't think it was ever a cartoon, but I knew it was a comic book, and I have several issues of the comic book. The comic book bored the crap out of me. The toys I loved. And you know, as a kid, so you know, it might be a great comic book, but when I was a kid, it just bored the pants right off of me. But this is the good guy, the one with the orange and beige, and the purple and gray guy. He's one of the bad guys, and I always like this guy because he kind of reminds me of the bad guys in Krull. It's one of the coolest fantasy movies from the 80s. But they had kind of similar armor to this guy, and I always kind of pretended like this is those bad guys. But the good guy has a really cool helmet. Looks awesome. And they're some of them you'll find the head, where the head is connected, is a little bit loose, so you can turn it. The one I had when I was a kid, the head was really loose and you could turn it all different directions. This one's really loose. I got this one in a like at a flea market, a bunch of them in a bag from a guy. And but they had the legs are connected, but the shoulders are not. And I think this guy's the same. Yeah, he's got the connected legs and the shoulders are separate. But they have little clippy things on the bottom of their feet so you could plug them into their little vehicles that they rode. They rode air-powered vehicles, and they were pretty darn cool. Yeah, another one of my favorite minifigures from my childhood. Let's see. I have no idea who this is. I found this thing in a box of toys in a thrift store, and I just think it's cool. It's an octopus cat thing. I love its attitude. If you know who this is, let me know. Let's see. I think that this is one of the sidekicks that came with the Ninja Turtles figure. All I know is he's awesome. He's a... I don't think he's a rooster, because those are like feathers, so I think he's like a... I don't know, some kind of bird, like a parrot or something like that. But he's a superhero too. And I always thought he was really nice. I liked his proportions, and I like the design and everything. He looks like a little bit like Warner Brothers cartoon character. But yeah, I like this guy. I like the fact that he's purple and translucent too. I don't know what... I think this was another gumball machine monster guy, but I think he looks really cool. I have several of these, and I'm just having a hard time finding them. Years ago, we had a house fire, and we had to move stuff out of the house for the house to be cleaned, and everything went into storage, and still a lot of my toys are in storage somewhere. I just haven't gotten to them. They're kind of at the back of the storage building. But this is one of the guys. I had several from this particular line, and all of them look really cool because not only do they have sculpted details, they had tampograph details as well. So the mouth is like printed on there. But really cool. I like this guy. Let's see. These are two Chap May figures, and yeah, this is kind of on that. You know, they're not minifigures because they are part of a line that's 3 and so they should be disqualified. But I don't care, which goes to show my rules are arbitrarily followed. These guys, these are some form of, I think they're Chap May, like astronaut accessories. I wish they had their little domes, but I never found them. I found these guys separately at different thrift stores over the years, and I think they go together. I mean, they appear to be, in the same style and everything. Like the sculpting style is similar, but the puppy dog, the only thing that's articulated on him is the head, so he can go like, huh? The chimpanzee. His head can turn. He's got lateral movement, and he can go back and forward this way. But yeah, he's pretty cool. But yeah, I keep him in my minifigure collection because I don't really have the astronauts that go with it. So once again, something that bridges that astronaut and minifigure thing. Or they don't have. I'm very tired. I don't know what this is either, but I like it. It's some kind of little alien or robot bear thing, like a teddy bear. Um, Once again, I found this one on the ground somewhere, I think. Or maybe I traded somebody something for this one. Whatever, I can't remember. All I know is this is from MGA. Whoa, wait a minute. Where do I know MGA from? I think they make the Bratz dolls. So maybe this is something to do with a Bratz doll or something. I'm not sure. I just like it. It's weird. Um, Perplexingly weird. I don't know. I just like it. I don't know what this belongs to. It was an accessory to something. But he's got a great personality. Yeah. Pretty cool guy. You can see his eye, like the eyelids are sculpted in. It's pretty cool. Like he's really having quite a chuckle. Nice guy. Let's see. This is another gumball machine alien, and this guy is cool. Guy, maybe it's a girl. I don't know. He's kind of got an hourglass figure, so maybe it is a gal. Lots of cool details on this. I have several from this particular line, but I don't know where they are right now. Once again, probably hiding in storage somewhere. But nice, really nice details on this figure. Love it. I've got a purple one. Or no, a red one like this somewhere. Lord only knows where. All right, this is, I think this is one of the diner rubber figures. Like some people said they're erasers, but they don't feel like erasers. I haven't been able to find the diner. It might be pronounced Diener, I'm not sure, but I always pronounce it diner. I have yet to find a logo on it for identifying what company. And it may just be a bootleg, but you know, he's a yellow ape. Yellow ape. And that's cool. I like apes. I like the color yellow. These guys, I have no idea what toy line they're from, but they're all like aliens. I have several of these. I don't remember where I got them. I don't know where they came from, but they're really cool. They all have a similar pose. Like they're all, you know, like this. I want to say they're going to be like some kind of like actual like close encounter alien type things. Like this guy looks like the Hopkinsville, what they call them, goblins or gremlins or whatever. It's a story from back in the 50s or 60s of a family that was attacked by these aliens one night in their home in Kentucky. But you know, something tells me that these guys are related to the whole UFO phenomenon thing. Not sure, but I just get that feeling. They don't look like movie characters that I know of. So, what other type of weird alien guys? I mean, it could be its own line, but does this have a date? No. This says Nero? No, Hero. Or is it Miro? It's Miro, Hero, or Nero. I'm not sure. I want to say Hero. Oh, he's got a cool butt. Check out his butt, man. This guy got a cool butt? No, he's got a flat butt. This guy's got a rocking butt. Check out that crack. What a cool guy. Alright. Now these, everybody should recognize the bulk of these. These are just a few of my favorites. I have more, but these are muscle figures. I think later on I found this guy's name was Sunshine because he always has like the little sunshine symbol on him. Or maybe that's the American name, I'm not sure. I always just called him like Block Guy because I thought he looked cool, looked like he was made out of blocks and stuff. This was, this was one of my favorite ones just because he was so like, I don't know, he reminded me of a Transformer with the lines and everything. And this guy was okay. I didn't like the parts on him that didn't have little blocks when I was a kid. But I wasn't a very bright kid, so who knows. I probably ate paste. But he's a happy guy. There's that guy, or those guys. And the announcer guy, he's got something on him. Oh gosh, it's something sticky. Ugh, I didn't notice that before. Gross. There, be presentable. All right, so yeah, this guy, he's the announcer for. I know that muscle originally in Japan was called Kanikuman, and I have no idea what that means. You guys in the comments can probably let me know. But yeah, this guy, this guy is pretty cool. I'll tell you a little story about him down the road with another figure that somebody I know made, but that's for later. Those are the ones that were like, when I was a kid, those were, well, I was kind of coming out of the kid stage chronologically or temporarily, whatever, however you want to classify it, but I'm still a kid upstairs. But what I never had were these three guys whenever I was coming up. I don't know if they're like harder to find muscle figures, but I never had them, and I just think they look cool. Very alien-like. And, you know, earlier I was talking about that one guy looking like a Kroll bad guy. This guy looks way like those Kroll bad guys. They had helmets that were almost exactly like this. Cool stuff. And there's this guy with the sword. Like I said, I don't know the names of any of these dudes. I barely knew the names of the ones I had back in the day. And only because I think there was a character called Terry Bull or something like that. But that was the American version. But this guy I know is not an American one. And I wish he was, like, during being in storage and stuff, he rubbed up against something that was painted. God, dang. What is that? It's like glue. Ugh. He rubbed up against something that was painted green, so the green transferred onto him in a couple of places. That makes me really sad. But I was gifted this years ago, and he's one of the Japanese Kanikuman, and he's way rubbery, which the muscle men are not. They're pretty rigid. But I only have one more minifigure to show you guys, and that is Mighty Max. I have exactly one Mighty Max, and that is the only Mighty Max I've ever owned. And I got him in a box of stuff. Didn't even know he was there. He was like at the bottom of the box. But I had to actually, at the time that I found him, I had to research what he is. But yeah, he goes with those little play sets they make. But I just like tiny things. I like tiny toys, and he scratches that tiny toy itch for me. But that's just a small look at a small portion of my minifigures. I'll show more off in the future. Let me know if you guys like looking at little collections like this or not. And if you do, I'll do some more. If this really bored the crap out of you, let me know, and I won't do more. But yeah, that's my minifigures, and I'm sticking to it. That was a really dumb line. Monster Forge out.